Kirk, we come back on the 1-0 Wimbledon loss on the weekend. How important is it to bounce back against Barnet this weekend?
Yeah, I think it's been a really important week for learning for the scholars this week, and I think they, although periods of the game we dominated, periods of the game they dominated, and it was a fairly even game. When you make one mistake and it costs you the game, it hurts some of the boys. But that reflection has been really important. It's been really nice this week to allow them to reflect in peer groups, so working in threes, and they've reflected on their performances, giving each other feedback on some of the good things, but also some of the things that maybe we need to sharpen up on as a collective. So not singling anyone out or singling out individuals, but actually what are we actually going to learn from this, and showing how important the learning process is in terms of getting those 3 points going into hopefully Barnet at the weekend.
And obviously looking closer at the squad, a couple of the under-16s coming up now, and also Anton Robertson back into the squad. How important is that for you?
Yeah, I think it's really good to have Anton back. He's obviously disappointed not to play on the Saturday. He was injured on the Friday, just a slight knock, and we weren't sure whether he could play Saturday, and then didn't quite pass that fitness test on the Saturday morning, and it was okay, we'll pull him out and put Charlie in, who's also done very well. Big competition now because Charlie's done really well, Anton's done well, so it's now who do we pick coming into Saturday, and having him back around, and his bubbly, lively character has been great to have back on the training ground. And with Lucas out on loan, it's good for the three of them to be pushing each other to really push for that number one shirt.
And talking about healthy competition, obviously, how is it having that squad depth, and how is it going to train and seeing all these all the players playing together, and seeing that you have so much depth in certain areas of the pitch? How's that for you?
Yeah, I think it's been really good. I think it's really good for the 18s to have that competition and know that they're not guaranteed a spot, but it's also good for the 16s to be in and around it, to be challenging for the 18s, and it really helps for their development to push on and give them the stretch and challenge and the development that they need, in the same way that we've put like Lucas out on loan, and I'm sure over the next few months others will go out and have that same experience of playing for men's teams, but the 16s is important for them to step across as well and have those experiences. So really good to challenge the 18s with, actually, you're not guaranteed a place, you've got to earn the right first.
And obviously looking at training sessions at the minute, we've played two physical sides in Northampton and Wimbledon, haven't quite managed to get a hold of that properly. What is it that you've been looking at in training to try and be ready for this weekend? Yeah,
I think looking back at Wimbledon, I think the press worked really well, and the boys worked really hard at that, and our playing out philosophies came out in patches, not as much as I'd have liked, but in patches. The press worked so well that Wimbledon decided to go long, and they didn't even play out in the end, which we'd seen as a common theme for them. So that's credit to the boys that they've worked hard enough that they've sort of almost caused Wimbledon a problem in terms of, I have to change this now, which is credit to them. So it's now, what do we bring into Barnet that's going to cause them a problem? What threats have they got that we're going to try and stop? And then how do we use our philosophy and the way we play to drag that through to get 3 points at the end of it?
And obviously it's a reverse fixture now, meant to be playing at home but not going away to Barnet. Hopefully hasn't unsettled any of the squad. How's that for you guys going on?
No, I think some of the boys that live that direction are really happy that they're closer to home and there's a shorter trip home on Saturday afternoon. I think the playing surface there will really help the game to flourish. I think from what we've seen of Barnet is they play really well. They play a lot of attractive football similar to their first team, and we're up for a challenge in terms of having to chase the ball a little bit, but it also allows us to play the style of football that we want, and the boys are really looking forward to playing on a really good surface, whether that's on their 3G or on the grass, but they'll have an opportunity to really play and show what they're about and the philosophies that we're trying to go after.
And obviously not hiding away from it whatsoever. It's not been the strongest start to the season, not a win just yet, but how important is it to go out this weekend and try and get that win? Yeah, I think the wins are important, but the wins come on the back of the learning process that happens, and as long as we're continuing to show development and continue to show learning, the wins will eventually come. It's now teaching a new set of boys how we play. There's a lot that have come in from outside, so they're learning new philosophies and new styles and trying to adapt to what we're asking them to do, and looking forward to seeing how they implement that. And I guess once the next couple of weeks come through, we'll get a win and it'll all look rosy again. And looking at the training sessions, obviously Mr. Ian Holloway was in the training session this week for you. How was that for you personally and also for the team around?
Yeah, I think for the squad, they really took on some of the messages, and you could start to see how important some of the key things that we're working on is going to be important if they're going to step into that first team environment. Very similar in terms of approaches and how we want the teams to play, which was really positive, and really enjoyed selfishly learning from someone with so much experience and watching and developing how he conducts himself on the training field, how he does certain things, and what can I steal from him almost to implement with the under 18. So I think from everyone's point of view, we all really enjoyed the experience and took something from it, but also looked and go, well, we're on the right lines, and we're pushing the players. It's now how do we get those extra little bit of some magic to sprinkle on to get them across the line.
And of course, what a good experience for the boys, but obviously with the start of the season not being as strong as hoped, how's the team morale coping, how's training and everything like that going at the minute?
Yeah, I think it's been really good. I think it's been a really positive week. The first years have been out collecting their GCSE results this week, so rite of passage to go home and celebrate with their families and see their friends and celebrate the results, and the boys have done really well with that. So that's been interesting this week, that we've had half a group out on the Thursday to collect the results, but in general the morale's really good. They're getting around each other, they're supporting each other, they've been really helpful with each other in terms of that bonding process, but also they're building enough of a relationship that they are calling each other out on mistakes that happen, and that was really relevant after on the back of the Wimbledon when they're reflecting on games and saying, look, this bit was really good, but this bit we just need to be better at. So conducting themselves in the right way, which really helps us to develop and learn and hopefully push them to the next part.